This is it. You can pop this one on at any time. The 7th Voyage of Sinbad. Ray Harryhausen's first feature in colour, directed by Nathan Juran, and featuring the finest Harryhausen creations up to that point. The Cyclops, the Serpent Woman, the Rock Hatchling, the Rock itself, the Skeleton, and the Magician's Dragon. Doesn't get much better than this in the Harryhausen filmography. In fact, I dare say that, along with the second Sinbad film directed by Gordon Hessler, this is my favourite or one of my 2 or 3 or 4 favourites from the Harryhausen feature canon. I love Jason and the Argonauts a lot, and obviously I really appreciate Clash of the Titans. The third Sinbad movie is a lot of fun too, to be fair, and obviously Guanji is quite brilliant. Although the magic, all the compacted spectacles, the musical score, the vivid colour, cinematography courtesy of Wilkie Cooper, who would also shoot Jason and First Men in the Moon, excellent real locations, and a soaring, ambitious imagination. Even if a contemporary film could potentially top The 7th Voyage of Sinbad, clearly its filmmakers thought that there would be nothing like it, nothing competing with its sheer creature runtime in cinema history up to that point, 1958, certainly perhaps since the original King Kong itself, and that it could consider itself the most audacious or one of films ever made at that time. If one had been presented with the script for The 7th Voyage of Sinbad in the mid-1950s, they would think, gee, that would require way too much money to make it look convincing at all. King Kong managed to get away with it in 1933, Harryhausen might offer in the script's defense. I could get it all done for less, he would claim. King Kong was in black and white, had a lot more of a budget than you will ever, relative to the era, and let's face it, may or may not stun audiences now in 1950 whatever. Well, in 1958, Harryhausen blew everyone away, as Willis H. O'Brien, Harryhausen's hero and one-time mentor, had in 1933. What a spectacle to see the colour Cyclops stomping around the beach, and then again, confronting the prospective thieves of its treasure, lifting up men and placing them into a cage, placing one on a stick and to stew over a fire, trampling after several others, hurling spears toward it, lifting up a tree trunk and crushing the attacking sailors. The movements, the trotting of the Cyclops' hoofed base gave it a realism, seamlessly believable motions, even amidst a frame with live-action actors interacting with it. What an astonishing accomplishment, one which apparently captivated a rather young Spielberg. The Serpent Woman marks the first major Harryhausen experiment with a multi-limbed or multi-appendaged creature, stalks of the body moving in synchronization. What about that giant octopus, you ask? We usually just saw one massive tentacle within a frame, and the octopus's body was shown attached to the bridge or sitting on the ocean floor of San Francisco Bay, not moving too many of its tentacles in those moments, 2 or 3 at most, to my memory anyway. Harryhausen would later in his feature filmography show off the Hydra, Kali, and Medusa, expansions of the initial animation experiment which the Serpent Woman of this film represented, synchronized appendages, arms, necks, or snake hair. These would prove to be some of Harryhausen's most ingeniously impressive and most popularly beloved animation creations. I have once read somewhere that the Serpent Woman sequence in this film was Harryhausen's favourite of the feature film sequences, although I could be misremembering. The sequence wherein the egg hatches and a rock chick emerges, initially one of odd magic. A head emerges, then another. That right there is peak Harryhausen character. But then tragedy. I must say, Sinbad's crew deserve what they get from the mother rock after they eat the poor hatchling. And then that glorious skeleton duel, followed by the dragon getting cranky, battling, killing a Cyclops, and then stomping after Sinbad and the princess. One of the greatest films of all time, perhaps solely a VFX picture, but one of the most stupendous, exemplary of VFX pictures, and its narrative chops and general filmmaking prowess are certainly quite adequate also, in my opinion. One of the most likeable American films of the 1950s, The 7th Voyage of Sinbad is a grand justification for enjoying this existence.